One way you can take your videos next level without having to buy really expensive, complicated equipment is to upgrade your lighting. There are a lot of different lighting options, different kits that you can get. In this video, I just want to show you with some cheaper equipment, a simple way to upgrade your lighting, a fun little trick that Ali taught me a few years ago that is going to take your videos from here to here. Have you ever been watching a video and you're like, something's off, but I'm just like not really 100% sure what it is? Or in the reverse situation where you're watching a video and you're like, it just looks so beautiful. And when I shoot a video, it just doesn't look like that. And I don't quite understand like why, right? Like I'm using the same camera as this person, or I'm using sort of the same setup as this person, but yet my videos just aren't turning out quite as beautiful as whatever it is they're doing. More than likely, it's because of the way that they are controlling the light in their videos. Lighting plays such a huge role in creating the ambiance of the room. I'm going to show you a couple of different examples first. In another video, Stefania talked about lighting ratios. Whether you have your person completely lit, so that's what I have right now. I just have me. I'm as lit as I possibly can be, so I'm the center focus. My background is lit, but it is slightly darker than I am. I do have some kind of interest going here and here with these lights, which are technically mixed light, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to create kind of a mood back there. I've got another example in this same setup where Ali actually added some colored lights and it created an entirely different mood. So it's the same room, same setup, but she set it up in a slightly different way, and just look at the effect that those colored lights have. In this example, I played a little bit more with a moodier lighting and also some overhead colored lights. So I'm a little bit more lit in this scene, yet the background is a little bit darker. I used like a blue and a pink light to create sort of this dark ambient mood behind me. So let's talk about a couple of things that you want to take into consideration as you're doing your lighting. One option that you have to make a really beautiful light is to have softboxes. Now we actually use an LED light with umbrellas. Now for this video, I did a super simple setup because I wanted to show you how just a little bit of light, you know, I didn't do anything overly complicated. I just want you to see you don't need a ton of additional light in order for you to make something really beautiful. Now, of course, like I said, I'm just creating the mood of I'm lit, my background looks nice. I'm not doing a ton here. I could be doing something a lot more complicated, a lot more fun, creating a lot more mood. Ali shines at this. She is so amazing at making the scene look really pretty. For this, I just wanted to show you, this is a simple way to do it. So this is the light that I'm using that's behind the umbrella. I can kind of show you. It's got this little back panel back here where I can adjust all sorts of fun things. I can dim the light. I can also change it to a more tungsten light. Got lots of options there. I have everything set up right now to daylight, so we're gonna go back to that. And then I just have my umbrella attached to it. It creates a much softer, prettier light. A lot of people like to use a ring light. I personally prefer these. I think it's a little bit softer, a little bit more beautiful. Again, there's a lot of options if you want to upgrade beyond this, but this is a good starting place if you're just looking to enhance your lighting without getting overly complicated. The next thing that you can do is I've actually bought these color changing bulbs that I've put as my regular lights in my basement. That way I can really control, I can add different color elements. You can switch between tungsten lighting and daylight, again, depending on the rest of your lighting so you don't get that mixed light look. For example, I've got a pink light over here. We did a daylight light over here, blue back here, another daylight over there. They also come with a dimming option, so I can bring light down. It just gives me a lot of control. The main thing that you want to think about when you're doing lighting is that you want to have control over the lighting. You don't want the lighting to control your shot. If you are going to be using overhead lighting, one thing to keep in mind is that you don't want the light to be directly over your head because it is going to create a lot more shadows. It's going to be a little uglier. Even if you just step back a little bit, kind of find the light. Think of like Tyra Banks, she's always like, find your light. That's what you want to do. So having the light now coming down and lighting my face, it looks a lot prettier than if I'm here and now I've got all these weird shadows happening. So for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, any type of social platform, you want to think about having your subject just well lit, nice even light. Have your lights slightly above you coming down. It'll help again with those shadows under your eyes. It'll make for a more beautiful look. You don't want that straight on. You definitely don't want the light coming from below you, or you're gonna have, like, think about when you're sitting around a campfire and you have a flashlight below you, it's gonna give like that horror film look. So think about having it slightly above you, down angle, and think about lighting the subject as kind of the main focus, and then create some interest in the background. Lighting can make a huge difference in upgrading your videos, and you don't have to do something super expensive in order to get there. Obviously, the more light control you have, the prettier the shot's gonna be. If you compare a shot where we have the entire full equipment setup, not just this setup, you can kind of see it really creates a lot more interest. It's a lot prettier. But that doesn't mean if you're kind of in the initial beginning phases of everything that you can't still create a really beautiful shot with a simpler setup. As you're watching movies, as you're watching other people's videos, start trying to kind of pay a little bit of attention to what's happening in their videos with their lighting. Where's the lighting source coming from? What does it look like? Do they have more of a harsh look on this side of their face? Is their background really dark? Maybe they're using a window to bring the light to them. Just start paying attention to those things. You'll start to notice that, like, maybe you were watching a video and you're like, yeah, that looks really weird, but I can't tell why. And now you're like, ah, it makes sense. They have a weird light directly over their head and that looks really, really awful. Now they've got all these weird shadows. Or like, ooh, they have like a mixed light color, so they've got tungsten coming from this way and they've got daylight coming from over here, and that's creating a really weird mood. Or maybe you're going to look at a shot and be like, now I understand why it looks so beautiful. There's this light in the background. It wasn't distracting enough for me to go, oh, there's a big light in the background. It's just subtle, it's beautiful, it makes the background a little bit prettier, the ambience a little bit prettier. So just start paying attention to those things. Play around with lighting. You know, that's kind of the fun thing about creating content, is that you get to play. You don't have to just do things a certain way. It's the only way that you can do them, and you're gonna get really stuck in your ways. Sometimes I have a hard time with that. I like to find a system. I like to stick with that system. I can get a little stuck. So try some different things. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe for more great content like this. We are your video allies. You've got this, we've got your back, and we cannot wait to see what kind of content you create and what kind of fun lighting scenarios you create as well.